What's up, everyone? How y'all doing? Hope everything is going well. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Well, it's going to be our celebrity chase segment for tonight on tonight's menu. I'm sure y'all haven't heard, but you're going to be hearing about it relatively soon. Vanessa Bryant says mother's trying to extort a financial windfall from her with her hurtful lawsuit. Well, Vanessa Bryant unfortunately is back in the news once again. This time with with her own mom. Unfortunately, her mom is suing her, is you know, filing a lawsuit against her. And basically the lawsuit is in reference to the mother's basically stating that Kobe Bryant, her son in law, her daughter's husband, who is now deceased, had promised to take care of her for the rest of her life. And basically, Vanessa Bryant is not fulfilling that deed. So the mother in law said, I guess since you're not going to see to it that I am taken care of, just like my son in law, your husband said he would always take care of me, then I guess I'm going to have to up the notch and file a lawsuit against you. And that is what's going on right now as we speak. So to give y'all a little bit more, I see what's going on in the background. I got my resources from I think a website called Vicious TV and also from People Magazine. Story goes as follows: Vanessa Bryant is accusing her mother of trying to extort a financial windfall from from her family after husband Kobe Bryant's untimely death through a new lawsuit. According to court documents filed Tuesday in California that were obtained by People, Sofia Laine, Vanessa Bryant's mother, 68, is suing her daughter Vanessa, 38, for financial support, claiming she worked unpaid as a longtime personal assistant and nanny for the family. Lane adds in a lawsuit that before his death on January 26th, at the age 41, Kobe had promised to take care of his mother in law for the rest of her life. Unfortunately, Kobe Bryant's promises did not see the light of day as he is now deceased, and Vanessa Bryant took each and every step she could to void and cancel all of Kobe Bryant's promises made to Lane. Vanessa Bryant did not intend to honor any of the Bryant's representations, agreements, and promises at any stage. In a statement to People, Vanessa, who also lost 13-year-old daughter Deanna Bryant in the same helicopter crash that killed her husband and seven other victims, claims her mother is continuing to try and find ways to extort a financial windfall from our family. I've supported her for nearly 20 years, and she has never my or Kobe's personal assistant, nor was she a nanny, says Vanessa, who is also mom to daughters Natalia, 17, Bianca, 4, and Capri Kobe, 18 months. I've always been a stay at home mother, and my husband and I were our daughter's full time caregivers. For nearly 2 decades, we arranged for mother to live in our nearby properties at no cost to her because she had claimed that she didn't have any money to buy her own home after her divorce. She tells People in uh, the statement. My husband and I felt it was best for her not to live in our home. She watched our girls from time to time, just like most grandparents do. She did not take care of business issues or expenses. She was a grandmother who was supported by me and her son in law at my request, Vanessa claims. She now wants to back charge me 96 per hour for supposedly working 12 hours a day for 18 years for watching her grandchildren. In reality, she only occasionally babysat my older daughters when they were toddlers. As of 10 years ago, our kids were full time students and athletes, and I didn't have another child until 2018. Her claims are obviously false, but I still try repeatedly to work things out with my mother. She adds, contrary to what she's saying, I haven't left my children's side since the accident except to visit the cemetery to make arrangements. Vanessa says even after her mother claimed in an interview with Univision back in September that Vanessa forced her out of the family home as well as made her return a car she used. The interview the widow slammed as beyond hurtful. Vanessa says she was still financially providing for Laine then. Early this year, I was looking for a new home for her, and a week later, she went on television and gave an interview disparaging our family and making false accusations while living rent free in a gated apartment complex in Newport Coast, claims Vanessa. Even after that betrayal, I was willing to provide my mother with monthly support for the rest of her life, and that wasn't good enough. She instead contacted me through intermediaries. I cannot read tonight, y'all. Contrary to what she claims, my phone number hasn't changed and demanded 5 million, a house, and a Mercedes SUV. Vanessa alleges because I did not give into her hurtful threats and monetary requests. She has spiraled out of control and is making false and absurd claims. Vanessa adds that Lane is now trying to get more money than my husband and I ever spent to provide for her while she was alive. She criticized the lawsuit as frivolous, disgraceful, and unimaginably hurtful. She has no regard for how this is affecting my children and me, she says, claiming she wants to live off of my daughters and me for the rest of her life while continuing to collect monthly alimony from her ex husband since 2004. My husband and I have never discouraged or kept her from providing for herself. My husband never promised my mother anything, says Vanessa, and he would be so disappointed in her behavior and lack of empathy. Oh, y'all, it's late. So if I'm reading illiterate tonight, like I don't have a GED, forgive me. That was a lot to try to read. um, Nevertheless, I should have been a little bit more prepared tonight, but I wanted to hurry up and get this recipe out. So we already know, based on the information that I have just read to all of you, that Vanessa Bryant's mother is once again, trying to come for her for more money. And this is unfortunately one of those type of situations where greed is definitely unraveling itself between the Bryants and family members. Now, with all due respect, what a lot of people not understanding is that Vanessa Bryant has gone through a lot this year. 2020 has definitely not been good to her. Hell, 2020 hasn't been good to any of us, between the COVID, between the stress of the election, between essential workers like myself not really getting the hazardous pay they deserve. 2020 has definitely done us dirty. And it has definitely done Vanessa Bryant even more dirtier than we could ever imagine. She already lost her husband. She lost her daughter. On top of that, she had to deal with the fact that there were other families on that plane with her husband. So I'm sure there was probably a small part of her that might have felt a little bit of guilt, knowing it was her husband's helicopter that it happened on. So she probably was worried about, families possibly coming after her for that. Even though legitimately they probably wouldn't have been able to, but when people are grieving, greed starts to manifest itself slowly but surely. So she's been having to deal with a lot, and to add insult to injury, she does not get along with the Bryants, her husband's people, her husband's parents and siblings. She's had a very rocky relationship with them. The relationship was already rocky when Kobe Bryant was still living. He really wasn't in a good place with his parents, especially his mother. I think him and the father did reconcile and made peace before his untimely death. But Kobe Bryant and his mom was not on the best of terms. So you would think after Vanessa Bryant and her mom witnessed what Kobe Bryant went through with his parents, and the fact that he was not able to live to reconcile and to make peace with that. That it would be like an eye opener for them to realize, you know what, we cannot allow the same thing to happen to us, because we already see tomorrow's not promised. And unfortunately, they're not taking heed to that, because it's bad enough, like I said, Vanessa Bryant was not getting along with her in-laws. So she already wasn't really getting much support from them, and she really wasn't supporting them also, because again, it's two sides, two stories. So I don't know how Vanessa Bryant acts towards Kobe's relatives, but we do know it's a very turbulent relationship, that she does not have a close bonding with Kobe's parents. So I could only imagine how that affects the children, because they need Kobe Bryant's family now more than ever, because that's the only part of their father that they have left. So in a perfect world, it would have been nice if everybody could have put their differences aside and hold their grudges aside and try to at least reconcile and make peace with each other for the sake of the children. And I'm sure that's what Kobe Bryant would have wanted more than anything. I'm sure had Kobe Bryant known then what he knew now, he would have made every effort to try to make peace with his family, and to make sure that his wife definitely made peace with his family. Had he known he was going to have to, leave here sooner than what he had planned for. So as you can see, it's a very ugly situation. So a couple of months ago, Vanessa Bryant's mother did an interview, basically blasting Vanessa, making her look like this evil daughter-in-law, sorry, evil daughter that does not care about her family. That now she's with this, married to this millionaire. You have totally disowned your family. You don't look out for family. She basically made her daughter look really bad, on the last interview she had. And around that time, that's when Vanessa Bryant claimed, she was trying to find her mom a house, trying to, still look out for her, still provide for her. And, to turn around and hear that interview, uh, it was a slap in the face. It was definitely a slap in the face, thinking, yeah, it was with Univision. Yeah, Univision is like a Spanish channel, Espanol, for those who speak Espanol, like one of those talk shows, you know what I mean? But it's more so for Spanish people, because most of the shows are in Spanish or Espanol language. But nevertheless, the interview was like a slap in the face, because basically the mother made her seem like, she basically did not care about her, so she made her like the bad guy. So that pretty much started it, and it just went downhill from there. um her mother got on the show and did an interview, and basically said, Vanessa had put her out the house, and Vanessa had took the car from her, and basically, Vanessa threw her away like Mississippi trash. That's basically what she was insinuating, allegedly, during the interview. So that had already started the fire from there, and the fire has just become bigger since then, because now, um after that ugly interview, Vanessa said, okay, if that's the way you want to be, you want to go around here and badmouth me and make me look like, I'm this evil daughter that just, leaves her mom out there to suffer. I tell you what, I'm gonna pull back. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna give you anything. And I probably would have done the same thing. I'm quite certain of that. If I'm out here sharing my husband's wealth and fortunes with you, making sure you living in a nice home, you got a nice SUV, and for you to turn around and insult me by going public on a national show and making me look like this damn villain, I would honestly wouldn't have want to have nothing to do with you either. You know, um, I don't think I would have went so far as to taking everything back, but I definitely would have downgraded significantly. She would have went from an 8 bedroom to a 1 bedroom. She would have went from um uh 50,000 or 60,000 SUV to a 5,000 SUV. Okay. I would have downgraded significantly, just because on the strength I know she has gotten accustomed to the lifestyle that I have given her, and she's used to having the finer things in life. For you to shade me like that, I would have taught you a lesson by significantly downgrading and putting you back into a lifestyle that I know would have made you regret even coming at me like that. Now that's what I would have did. Vanessa Bryant, on the other hand, she just chose to completely strip her of everything, and again, you can't tell people how to respond because everybody deals with disrespect different. And you just never know till you get in that situation and you got to cross that bridge how far you will go when the person has betrayed you and disrespected you. So I'm not saying Vanessa Bryant was wrong or right, but at the same time, that is your parents. That is the person who gave birth to you. So everybody's not raised the same. You got some people that no matter how bad mom or dad does you, you supposed to still do for them no matter what. You're supposed to still support them, even if you have parents that are disrespectful. Even if you have, I know kids to this, grown children to this day, that are so humble to their parents, even though those were the same parents during their childhood that was very abusive towards them, that was very neglectful towards them, that was very emotionally damaging to them. I know grown children who have had parents who have really, dragged them and gave them a very unfit childhood, and to this day, even as grown adults, they still respect their parents no matter what. All of us don't have that gift, because I know me, I have a line. Me and my mom have bumped heads. We fell out and had some very ugly situations that have occurred. But at the end of the day, we were able to kind of find peace and reconcile, because she realized I was a grown woman. She could not handle me like that little girl that she was used to handling in high school. And I had to realize that my mother was getting up in her age, and the older our parents get, sometimes the more stubborn they get, sometimes the more difficult they become. And it takes a lot of maturity to be able to understand that and not allow it to make you, very evil and vindictive towards your parents, even when they're doing it to you. So, nevertheless, as I stated, Vanessa Bryant's mother now is really going in, and now she's going from, um I was her child care provider. So all these years that you've been keeping your grandchildren, now you're trying to say you were the nanny, you were the caregiver. And like Vanessa Bryant said, no, I always been an at-home mom, and I believe that because Vanessa Bryant, from what I know, she's never had a job. She's never been one of those celebrity wives who you hear about, who got her own company, who you hear about as working places. She just sat back and she chilled. I mean, she had a husband. Her husband is a successful basketball player who's making millions, so she didn't have to work. So I can believe that Vanessa Bryant did not need her mother to be a caregiver for her children, because Vanessa Bryant never worked like that, and she never had to. So for now, the mother all of a suddenly to go back into all the time she kept the kids, whether if it was during Christmas or Thanksgiving, or so Colby or Vanessa could go out of town for the weekend or something like that. She took her title away from being a grandmother, basically saying, I was a caregiver. All them years I was taking care of these kids, I should have been getting compensated for that. And I'm like, wow, money really reveals to you who people really are. Now, I can also say this. I also believe that Kobe Bryant did assure his mother in law that he would always take care of her. I believe that. Even though Vanessa Bryant denied it and said that her husband would never say such a thing, I believe that because when Kobe Bryant first got with Vanessa Bryant, she was underage, and Kobe Bryant was older than her, and he knew he was older than her, which is the reason why Kobe Bryant's had parents had an issue with him dating Vanessa, because they were so worried about his career being thrown down the drain the moment the media gets a whiff of the fact that you're with this Mexican girl that's underage. She was 17 at the time, and he was like 20, 21, something in that nature, which is the reason why as soon as Vanessa Bryant turned 18, he married her immediately, because he didn't want the media coming after him, saying that you this pervert, you been messing with this young girl. So he married her right away. But the only way he could make that happen was Vanessa Bryant's parents had to agree. And what better way to make people go along with your wishes? You pay them off. So Kobe Bryant wanted Vanessa Bryant just that bad that he was willing to let her parents know that, hey, I'm gonna make sure you straight regardless of what. I really love your daughter. I want to be with her, and I'm gonna make sure y'all straight. I'm sure he said that. Okay. Now that probably was an initial beginning. There's not too many millionaire men that I know of who is in love with their wives and not going to look out for the wife's family. Now, within reason, I'm not saying that, the wife's mother or her people was going to, Kobe was going to, buy them helicopters and let them live life the exact way he was living it. But I'm sure that he was man enough and willing, to make sure Vanessa Bryant's people were straight, because that's his wife people. And it doesn't make him a sucker, doesn't make him less than a man. That's his wife mama. He ain't gonna want his wife mama out there in poverty, knowing, he has her grandchildren and his grandkids, you know, I mean, his kids are going to look for their grandmother to be able, to a certain degree, to be able to have the things that they have. So that's what married people do. Within reason, you try to look out for each other's families. As long as it's not getting to the point to where you're doing so much for outsiders that it's affecting your household. So I'm not buying when Vanessa Bryant says that Kobe Bryant said he never gave, Miss Elaine any incentive that he would take care of her, because I doubt that. That's just natural. You take care of a woman, you're gonna make sure her mama's straight too. Now I'm not saying take care of the whole family and put everybody in mansions, but I basically felt like Kobe Bryant assured her he was gonna take care of her. But the bottom line is he is not here to defend that, to co-sign on that. So Vanessa Bryant basically is saying my husband never told my mom any such thing. He never told my mother he would take care of her like that. And I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it, but nevertheless now it has gotten so bad to the point now to where now the mother is suing her. So I'm like, can it get any worse? Have y'all forgotten this man? He hasn't even been gone quite a year. Not only that, y'all lost a daughter and granddaughter. And what has happened now, money has become the center of attention. Money now is it's kind of like Vanessa Bryant is this walking ATM billboard. Everybody knows that Kobe Bryant was is worth millions. And now that he's deceased, everything he has ever worked for and has ever earned is now in the possession of his wife. And guess what? That is a part of marriage. When the wife dies or the husband dies, whatever that wife or whatever that husband did to build, um, to accumulate over the years or through their career, is going to go to the significant other. So Vanessa Bryant is even more of a target now that her husband's gone. At least when her husband was here, him being the man of the household, he was able to intervene like he did with his parents and say, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm not spending all that money on you. I done brought you your house. I done brought you cars. That's it. He's not here to really tell Vanessa what to do or how to go about it. Now, I'm sure if he was here, half of the stuff that's going on wouldn't be going on. But, new levels, new doubles. When doors start to open for you, here comes people coming out the woodwork acting like you owe them something. And it's a very unfortunate situation, but this is what happens when you come from family in poverty. When you come from family in poverty and you make it big or you become successful, everybody wants a piece of the pie. if you don't become successful, you may end up in a situation like Vanessa Bryant, where your husband or someone that you're related to may pass away, and you may end up with a large inheritance. Here comes all of these people out the woodwork now, because they're your mama, they're your daddy, they're your brother, they're your sister. Now they feel like you are obligated to helping them. And my thing, for her to feel this sense of entitlement, I'm quite sure, like I said, her son-in-law somewhere assured her, and even before he passed, he was doing for her then. I'm sure anything that Vanessa Bryant's mother ever had, Kobe Bryant provided that for her. And Vanessa Bryant didn't have a problem with it at that point in time, because it was her husband kind of running the show. Well, for the most part, I'm sure he was running the show. If she did have a problem with it to a certain degree, well, babe, I don't think you feel. I don't feel like you need to be giving all my mom and all my people excess amount of money. Well, it's all right. I got it. I'm gonna make sure she's straight. I'm gonna make sure she blah blah blah. I don't know what the agreement or arrangement was that took place between Vanessa Bryant and Kobe Bryant, but I'm sure he set that tone from the beginning, that he did not mind putting his money out there when it came to her people, which is why her mom is so hell bent to the point that she's willing to sue her, because I'm pretty sure if they never was putting themselves out there for her, she wouldn't even be expecting it as much as she is now. So basically, this is what money does to people. And I just think, and I must try to say this as nice as I can without being disrespectful, but Vanessa Bryant kind of strikes me as one of those type of women that I get this vibe of arrogance, this vibe of superiority. Um, I get this vibe of, self-centeredness. And I'm not saying this to be rude or to badger her, because I got my flaws, I got my skeletons in my closet as well. We all got hangups. And I just honestly think that when Kobe Bryant was living, I think Vanessa Bryant only really surrounded her world around her husband and her children. Um, I believe her husband and her children were the tree, and family, friends, or whoever else was just branches. And I know some people might be like, well, Mocha, what is wrong with that? As a married woman, you should only be about your husband and your children. So, how is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing as long as it does not make you feel as if nothing else outside of that exists. And I just honestly think that with Vanessa Bryant, I said this in one of my videos when I discussed this before, that she was one of those women where she truly worshiped her lifestyle and her marriage and her children. I think her world was only it's centered around them and nothing else. I think anything else and everything else, everyone else outside of that, she really could give less than a damn about. If you wasn't Kobe or you wasn't her kids, basically she gave you her ass to kiss. And I know a couple of women like that. I know some women personally who only treasure their husbands and their children, to the point their families don't even deal with them. It's plenty of married women that are so self-centered. Their world only revolves around their children and their husband. Their family, they got sisters who don't deal with them, they got brothers who don't deal with them, their own parents don't deal with them. You have some women who only are about their children and their husbands. And I think that's pretty bad, to a point to where if it's causing you to cut everybody off, and if it's causing you to mistreat everyone, or to look down on people, or to have you to the point to where you so damn snooty your nose is up in the air, then I think that can be a problem in a sense. If you're so cocky and arrogant and think because you're married to a man that's on a level of a high status, that if you're not used to that, it can make you kind of cocky, it can make you kind of arrogant. And let's truth be told, Vanessa didn't come from nothing. She did not come from anything. So for her to land a man on the status of Kobe Bryant, I'm sure that had to be a culture shock to her. You know, being an illegal immigrant, becoming a legal immigrant eventually, but she came from nothing. She wasn't always this glamorous, beautiful celebrity wife. If you look at a lot of her younger pictures, she was a plain Jane, Hispanic looking chick. Money makes people look good. Over the years, she's really blossomed, so, and money has a way of doing that. And I'm not knocking that, but what I am saying is that I'm sure money has really changed her. And the way she's been behaving, I'm sure her family didn't really expect that out of her. So I think kinda, you know, Vanessa is probably getting just a slight case of karma based on how she treated a lot of people throughout the years of her wonderful marriage, because everything was going so great. Now, am I saying is she deserve it? The karma, as in that's why her husband died? No, because that part, death is something everybody has to experience. So I would never say that Kobe Bryant is him dying is her karma, because that would be cruel and that would be unfair. But what I'm saying is the stuff that she's going through in the midst and after the untimely death may be some of her karma for thinking that, she's sitting in a good place. I'm invincible and I'm exempt. Nothing could ever go wrong with me or my marriage because my husband is really successful. We got all this money. We're sitting in a good place. She probably really, was smelling herself in a sense, like, I'm so great, I'm doing so well, I can't be knocked off my high horse. So I think in a sense, that's probably why she's going through some of the things that she's going through now. My thing is, you kind of shun the Bryants. You disregarded them. She wouldn't even let them speak at the funeral, which I thought that was strange. But now you're going through it with your own people. You were so worried about the Bryants coming after you for $1 that you felt safe with your own family. You looked out for your family. You looked out for your people. I'm not knocking it, because I'm sure anybody in her situation would do the same thing. Hey, I'm gonna look out for my people. If y'all son didn't set stuff up for y'all to be straight, don't look for me to do it or whatever, whatever. But it's funny because now the people that she was most threatened by, who she felt probably was going to try to come after her for any and everything she had, they're not even the ones trying to come after her. The Bryants ain't even coming after her like that. They're not even, targeting her. I haven't heard them say too many bad things in the media about her. But guess what? Her own family, her own blood is dragging her name out there. But at the same token, what her mom doesn't understand is Vanessa Bryant is just your daughter. Technically speaking, she does not have to do anything. She doesn't owe her anything. Vanessa is a married woman who's now widowed, lost a child, got 4 kids at home to still support and take care of. And this is how you repay her. No, I think she has 3 kids. She has 3 kids now. This is how you repay her. You repay her by dragging her name through the mud, knowing that she's still grieving over her husband. But the mother is so hell bent and greed driven about $1. She don't care nothing about throwing her daughter up under the bus and slandering her name knowing that her son-in-law ain't even been in the grave a good year. But this is what money does to people. This is what money does to families. Money makes people real evil. And when they can't get it, they just up the ante every time. As if doing the interview with Univision wasn't bad enough. Now you're going to turn around and sue the girl. I mean, really? Would you have done that if Kobe Bryant was living? No. You know your daughter is in a vulnerable state of mind, and you have some people, they don't care what you're going through. If you're already drowning, they'll just pour more water on you. And that's basically what's going on. So this is a very unfortunate situation, but I hate the fact that so many things was left unresolved before Kobe Bryant passed away. He didn't get a chance to make peace with his mother, with his siblings, and now it's becoming a generational curse because now Vanessa Bryant is going through it with her side of the family. Now her mother is going around here doing interviews, doing lawsuits. When will it end? And I'm like, lady, you are getting up in your age. You know, tomorrow is not even promised for you either. You need to be trying to make peace with your daughter. Y'all around here worrying about money. You worried about when she gonna put you in a bigger house, when she gonna buy you a newer vehicle, a brand new SUV. You didn't work for any of that stuff. Any and everything you have ever gotten was through your daughter, which should have been the reason why you should have been making peace with her because that's Kobe Bryant's money. And the only person who has any ties to that money is Vanessa Bryant. So why would you piss off the one person who holds the master key? Why would you piss that person off to the point where they're like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to put you out my house. I'm not going to do nothing for you. And that, like again, this lady is up in her age. That causes a lot of stress having to go for lawsuits and dealing with lawyers and judges and attorneys. That's a lot of stress. That lady too old for that. Hopefully, all of these millions that she's suing for, hell, will she even live to get it? And what Vanessa Bryant has to understand, sometimes, as bad as it and hard and difficult as it is, sometimes you really have to be the bigger person and you have to apologize even if you know you're not wrong. Apologizing doesn't make you guilty. Apologizing just means, you know what, I want this shit to end. I don't want to keep going. If I got to say I'm sorry for not being the best daughter that you thought I should be, whatever, whatever, just to have closure with it, then so be it. But I don't know what's where it's going to go from here, y'all. Um, what do y'all think Vanessa Bryant should do in the situation? Do you think she should just break her mom off with a little bit of bread, a little piece of bread, let her know, hey, I'm gonna just give you a couple of thousands just to get you a decent house, just to get you an SUV, and from here on out, you on your own, or strip her of everything. Since she wants to go blasting your name and talking about you and trying to drag you through the mud, knowing you still grieving. I mean, what would be y'all initial reaction had you been in this situation? It's just going to continue to get uglier. I don't see it getting any better from here because this mother is relentless. She's relentless. And the thing is, this woman has gotten accustomed to living a certain type of lifestyle. As you can see, every game that Vanessa ever went to, her mother was right there front in the center. But at the same time, her mother was supportive. Now, why she was supportive? Maybe the mother was supportive because she wanted to make sure she could reap the benefits of being sharing the life with the celebrity wife. Sometimes family is only supportive of you because they know you got gems, you got connections, you make funds. All this time when Vanessa Bryant's husband was living, her mother was their right hand center, going to all the games, going to all of the events, and I don't know if it was really out of love or because she enjoyed the VIP lifestyle too. Whatever the reason was, her mom was there. And if it was me, what I would have done, I would have got her a little something, but it wouldn't have been nothing like she would have expected. I would have got her a plain little 1 or 2 bedroom house, and I would have got her one of those soccer mom vans. It wouldn't have been no damn Porsche. It wouldn't have been no BMW, Mercedes. I would have got her a Hyundai van or something, 2020 Hyundai van, something of this year, but it ain't gonna be no on no luxury level. It's not gonna be no Mercedes or no doggone Maserati, something like that. Um, just the and the only reason I would have done it, it would have been just to show her you still have to accept whatever I give you. You still not gonna make me give you what you want me to give you. You still not going to get to my level of luxury. Since you want to go around here and drag my name through the mud, and because you are my mother, and I don't want to produce that bad seed of karma, I don't want any more bad luck coming my way than what already has transpired. So instead of being completely nasty and throwing you out there to the wolves for you to suffer, I will do for you, but it's going to be the bare minimum. You're not getting that 8, 9 bedroom mansion. You're going to get a 2 bedroom house. I'll pay for your medical insurance, and you'll get a basic vehicle, something to get around in. And then I still won't have nothing to do with you. It will not be no more red lobster for me, no filet mignon. No, you're going to go back to tacos and burritos. It's always more than one way to hurt somebody. You don't have to completely strip that person of everything because they're slandering you. What you do is you take back the luxury that they have become accustomed to. You won't be getting any more limo rides. Ain't going to be no front row tickets to no court games and none of that. All that is done. At the end of the day, Vanessa Bryant, that is still your mother. And she all you got left, really, because you're not close to the Bryants. So ain't like if something happened to her, you got other support from other areas. Yep, I know what she did to you was hurtful and it was mean and it was ugly, but a part of her could be grieving too because she's probably just as shocked that her son in law is gone as you are that your husband is gone. You're not the only one who suffered a loss. Now, was she doing right? Absolutely not. Hell no. But at the end of the day, Vanessa, what your mother is doing is not really gonna make you or break you. At the end of the day, you still gonna have your millions. You still gonna have your home. You still gonna have your cars. And the biggest thing is you have your husband's last name. Your last name alone is gonna keep you places that a lot of women would never have that blessing or pleasure in getting. So you still blessed either way it go. So don't allow the enemy to infiltrate between you and your mother because you already lost a husband and a daughter. That's bad enough. Try to make peace with your moms, man. That's all you got. I don't know what it's going to take for y'all to come to the table and sit down and stop allowing this greed and money to come in between y'all. But Vanessa, you're going to have to start from somewhere, man, or else it's going to continue to fester and keep getting worse and worse. All right. So, anyway, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. I know I've been doing some hella stuttering tonight, but nevertheless, I hope everybody pretty much was able to understand my content and what I was talking about tonight. So, anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation with Vanessa Bryant and her mom suing her. And the same thing goes for Vanessa Bryant's mothers. I know these older people, they have pride, they stubborn, they set in their ways. But ma'am, you really need to make peace with your daughter. She lost her husband, she lost her daughter. She needs you to be there to support her. all this. You talk going to lawyers, you doing interviews, you dragging this woman name. You have to take into consideration what your daughter has really gone through. So you being the older person, you supposed to have wisdom and knowledge and understanding. So I don't know what it's going to take, because like mother, like daughter, they probably both pretty much the same, which is probably what's going to keep it turbulent. When people are too much alike, and in most cases, a lot of mother and daughters are like that. The reason why a lot of mothers and daughters cannot get along because they both alike. And I think what's going on in a sense, her mother is just as greedy as her, and vice versa. That's the reason why neither one of them is giving in. And then both of them may be ungrateful in a sense. Vanessa may be ungrateful that her mother has been there for her, not really giving her mother the acknowledgement and appreciation that she has been there for her. But at the same time, Vanessa Bryant has done a lot for her mother, and her mother still looking like, you know, Vanessa Bryant ain't doing enough, still ungrateful, still unappreciative. And that's what happens to a lot of families with money. It becomes more expectation and less appreciation. That's why you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to give more, when to hold back. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comments below. Let me know what y'all think about the situation, and I will holler at y'all later. Take care. Bye.